Hey, this is DJ Thunderous. I'm here with Nige Rockett from the awesome band Onslaught. How's it going, Nige?
I'm great, thank you. How are you today?
I'm great. This interview has been a long time coming.
Yes, it certainly has.
Well, welcome back. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
So could you give everyone a brief history of Onslaught and why you had the hiatus from 1990 to 2005?
Yeah, sure. Basically, we formed, I think, late 82, early 83. We started out as a kind of hardcore punk band, forging into thrash metal sort of just 18 months after, really, releasing our first album in 1985 entitled Power from Hell. Followed up 86 by The Force, which I'm sure many of you know. Went into 1989, we signed to Polygram, big mistake, and released In Search of Sanity with Steve Grimmett on vocals. Lots of problems around that time, mainly due to the label. We split in 91, mainly because of all the problems caused with dealing with such a label like that. So yeah, it was a big mistake and brought our blossoming career to a grinding halt, really. So 14 years on, 2005, we reformed and trying to put some of the shit right that went wrong in 89 onwards. And we've released 3 albums since: Killing Peace, Sounds of Violence, and 6 in 2013, and now we're about to release our 7th studio album entitled Generation Antichrist on August the 7th.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear the whole album. I took a little peek at your video of Religious Suicide that was released, and it sounds really great.
Thank you.
Really cool.
Yeah. It's been it's kind of awkward because it's a little bit naughty, the track, and we've been banned from any kind of promotion with Facebook or YouTube, so it's just going under its own steam, really, and the response has been out of this world. I think we're heading towards 500,000 streams on it already, which is outrageous. 100,000 views on YouTube for the video, all with no promotion. So I mean, the fans are loving it, and just we're blown away.
That's cool. So when you decided to bring Onslaught back, what were your ideas, and what did you have intended when you came back?
Well, the reason we got back together, or the spark what set the fire burning again, was we'd found out that the first 2 albums, Power from Hell and The Force, had been re-released in 2002. So it's kind of a couple of years, 2.5 years, 3 years before we even found out anything about it, you know. It was a bit of a shock. Came even more of a shock because when we seen the figures, that the amounts of records that were sold, or CDs that were sold, and the amount of money that was owed to us, which was obviously very nice. And the label were brilliant. They paid up everything with immediate effect. But more importantly, it was the kind of sales figures that were involved, you know. And it's sort of wow, there's all this interest again after the 90s, which was kind of a very non-metal time, if you like, or specifically thrash metal. To see those kind of figures was incredible. So like, wow, there's some interest again, and like we all got talking, got thinking, and let's give it another shot and try and put some of the crap that went wrong the first time, try and put it right and get rid of those bad memories, you know, which is exactly what we did.
And do you have the same members you had prior, or do you actually you don't? You have some members.
Yeah, I mean, we started off when we came back, 2005. It was me, Steve Grice, the drummer from previous. Psychealer, who was on the Force album. Jim Hinder, who was on In Search of Sanity album, but his intention was only just to come in and kind of just do the Reformation. You know, he was never going to tour or take things to the next level, just purely because of the nature of his work, what he does and stuff. So yeah, I mean, we had a good basis there to start up, you know. And as things got more serious, people kind of seemed to drop away a little bit, because as people realised we were back, the demand for live shows in particular was like just skyrocketing, and it was amazing the amount of offers we were going to get in, and it really came as a shock.
Was it hard for you to pick up your guitar after 12 years?
Extremely. Yeah, I mean, I did a couple of projects after Onslaught, maybe till kind of 1994, maybe 2-3 years. Nothing ever really worked out. I had a couple of close calls on it, but kind of got disillusioned after the last disappointment and what would happen, what had happened with Onslaught, you know. So my guitars went under my bed, and they stayed there for 10 years. Didn't touch them. So as you can imagine, coming back and trying to play some of that stuff 10 years on without touching a guitar was extremely hard, as it was for everybody, drummer and bassist, everybody. So yeah, very tough. Took around 6 to 9 months, I think, to get back to any kind of standard what was acceptable to go and attempt to play in a live show, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost like starting over again. I know they say like it's like riding a bike and all that, but it wasn't quite that easy. There was a lot of time and effort had to be put in.
Well, if you're riding a bike at that point, you have to change the tires probably, because they probably, you know.
Definitely had to change the strings, that's for sure.
How many guitars did you have under your bed?
Oh, I started off with about 10 under the bed. And I ended up selling most of them, but I did keep the one that I'd done all the kind of main recordings on. It was my main guitar, so I did keep that one. And it's sat right next to me now, actually.
Wow.
But, yeah, so I had to restock a little bit.
Yep, that's cool. Now, my favorite album is 6, and we think 666 is an amazing track. What's your favorite album and track of all time?
I think you're pretty close. I was kind of close to that myself, actually. I think until this one, 6 would probably have been my favourite album, and that would have been a toss-up on that album between Chaos is King and 666, probably. I think it was our most. I'm trying to find the right word. I don't know. It just captured everything about us. It had some great songs. It was very heavy. But I think this one is taken over from it. I know a lot of bands. I'm sure you hear it all the time. Bands saying, "Oh, our new album's the best one we've ever done." But I do genuinely believe that in this album. You know, we took a certain approach on it, and it seems to have worked and paid off. And I'm sure we'll discuss that in a minute how we what we did. But yeah, I think the new one's definitely going to take over as my number one once people have heard it and stuff.
That's cool. Well, we're going to let everyone listen to your track here, 666, and then we'll get into it a little more. Crank it up.
Cool.
Phase 1, ride the demon wave. This is war with extreme
All right, I'm still singing that song here. 666. That the vocals on that are just amazing. Everything is perfect about that track, and I'm not gonna lie. You guys opened my ears to Onslaught with that track.
Oh wow, cool. That's excellent.
I do recall older songs, of course, because I'm so young. But 666 woke me up.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those songs that you've got to play live. Everybody wants to hear it, and when we play it, everybody joins in, which was the intention when we wrote the song. I mean, it's a bit of fun, within all darkness.
It's really excellent. Now, you were talking about Religious Suicide and the new album coming out. That's coming out on August 7th, you said?
Yeah.
Where did you get the name for it, Generation Antichrist? I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, everybody seems to like the title of the album. Label loved it. I don't know, it just sprang into my head one day, I was working on some lyrics for one of the other songs, and I was just thinking about the state of the world where we're at. I was on one of my usually anti-religious trips, and I was just thinking about my kids and the youth of today, how unreligious they are, My kids just don't have a clue, not interested in the slightest, which is completely fine by me. But then I thought, wow, these kids are a generation of anti-Christians. So that's where it came from, Generation Antichrist. And it just rang true for a lot of things through the album. So I thought, yeah, that's kind of cool. Ran it by the rest of the guys in the label, and everybody loved it. So that was it. It was there and done.
It does sound better than Millennials. Where did that come from? I mean, Generation Antichrist is much better.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think the mainstream would like it much, but it works for us maleheads.
Exactly. We can say that here. How do you think this new album is different than your previous albums?
What we did before we started writing this record was to sit down and discuss the direction. That was particularly important to me because this was an album I was going back to kind of writing on my own, Last two albums I'd been writing music with Andy Rosser Davis. He's obviously no longer in the band, so I'd lost my writing partner. So when it came to start work on this, I needed to sort of really focus and decide where we were going to go with the direction, because I had nobody to bounce off of, and it was a bit of pressure on myself. So I really needed to be right up and sort of knowing what I was doing from the off. So me and Jeff sort of sat down and spoke about where we thought we should go. We decided that we thought that the last two albums, as fantastic as they were, and probably our two favourite Onslaught albums, were kind of technical in terms of busy riffs and busy changes and stuff like that. So we thought we never want to release the same album twice. That would be wrong, I think, for us and the fans to release two albums next to each other that sounded very similar. Mm-hmm. So again, we approach it as let's try and do something different whilst keeping the Onslaught identity. So we decided let's take a couple of steps backwards in order to maybe take 5 steps forward. Yeah. And we said, okay, let's go back, look at our roots, look at the influences, look at the Force album, which was a massive favourite with the fans, and take what we can from there, obviously without copying it in any way, but just drawing where we were at and what we did. So that's exactly how we approached the record. We kind of went back, we stripped back the production and the layers. We stripped back the longer songs, and we just kept things really, really intense. A lot more open, maybe. And with the guy who we had mixing the album, Daniel Bergstrand, it's just worked amazingly well. It's just got so much raw and open energy, That's not to distract from Six in any way, but it's a very different album. It's a very different sounding album. But it's still very much Onslaught,
All right, well, I'm excited to get this played. I can't wait.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, we're very happy. Obviously, we feel we've achieved what we set out to do. And so far, the fans, what they've heard, obviously, well, they've heard 2 tracks, I guess, because "Perfect Day to Die" is on the album as well. Obviously, you know, that's very Motorhead influenced, and kind of old school. So the first 2 tracks, absolutely amazing response from everybody. So let's keep our fingers crossed it's the same for the rest of the record.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's crank it up. Everyone, you can hear it now. Here's Religious Suicide. Hell yeah.
To the end, slave unto the book of lies, spreading the disease, praying for the sand of time, falling on his knees. Why to be the king of kings, wanted for the poor, disciples sent to hell and by my own country to war. Killing in the name of God, hallowed be thy name. Criminal hypocrisy, crucified in shame. Sacrament or sacrifice, anti-cult or anti-Christ. Hanging on a holy cross, judicious parasites. Religion takes it up the ass, it's Jesus fucking Christ. See the light in testimonies of hate. Self-destructing paradox lies far beyond your fate. Revelation testified, resurrection born. Mass seduction, suicide, mentality is born. Churches fall across the land, chapels laid to rest. Gospel driven underground, faith becomes confessed. Speaker of the 7 sins, advocate the priest. Shooting red and dignity, romancing with the beast. Sacrament or sacrifice, anti-cult or anti-Christ. Hanging on the holy cross, they name the priest twice. Religion takes it up the ass, it's Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ!
All right, that I have to say that was excellent. I can't wait for more.
It's a bit of a banger, that one.
Yeah.
No prisoners taken on that lyrically or musically.
Exactly.
It's just full steam ahead.
Yep. So maybe, hopefully down the road you can get out and play it live pretty soon.
Yeah, that's the next thing. When that's going to be, who knows? There's certain things kicking off again now, aren't there? I've seen these drive-in shows and all that, which I don't really like the sound of, especially for thrash metal bands. But at least something's starting to break,
Yeah,
So.
I saw Doro went and did a a drive-in show. I didn't.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched it or nothing, but
no.
I don't think I shall, but, but at least it's a start. That's all I can say.
Exactly. Now, how many tracks are on the new album?
No, 9 if you include a kind of intro track, and this is kind of again where we took a nod back to the Force album. Maybe we did all kinds of intros on the albums over the years, and on the Force album we did a kind of sort of 2-minute musical intro, if you like, before Let There Be Death kicks in. So okay, let's do this again. It's been several albums since we did it, so we wrote a short musical piece, very heavy, crunchy sort of intro to the first track, if you like, and it sounds great. I mean, I'm really glad we've sort of taken that idea from that album, because it works amazingly well. So I think it's going to be one of those nice things to play live. It's going to really get the fans wound up for the first track when it kicks in.
Can they look forward to any of your awesome solos on this album?
No, unfortunately not. I didn't play any solos on this one. No, I left that to Wayne. I've not played any solos really since we've got back together. As I said, not playing a guitar for 10 years really is a challenge to get back. So
yeah, I'm sure.
I was never a great fan of playing solos anyway, because I just hated dancing around on pedals all the time and having that all the time. So when we got back together, we hired in a lead guitarist, and it's been that way ever since. But Wayne's a phenomenal player, so there's no way I could touch that. So I just stick to what I'm good at, is just blasting away and headbanging on rhythm guitar. That suits me down to the ground.
Yeah, just keep your guitars from under the bed.
Yeah, they're not going there for a while.
Okay, that's cool. Now, if you could change anything you've done as a band, what would it be and why?
Oh, definitely signing to Polygram Records. That would be a 100% no-brainer for us. We had 3 major labels trying to sign us at the time in 1987. And I guess being young kids and very naive, we kind of followed the bucks and the bullshit, you know. Mm-hmm. Instead of following what we should have looked at was a long-term career path. All Polygram wanted was a kind of because thrash was breaking really big. Then they wanted a token thrash band to be on their label, you know.
Right.
And they expected immediate Metallica level success within the first album, In Search of Sanity, which was totally unrealistic. I mean, they had no intention of trying to build the band slowly over a period of 3 or 4 albums. It was just they were a pop-based label, mm-hmm. and they wanted immediate success as they demand with pop acts, you know. So the album, don't get me wrong, the album sold great.
Right.
Very, very amazing sales, but not to their level of expectation, you know. So when it came to renew, we both went our own ways, you know.
Yep, exactly. It's understandable.
But what it did was cause so many problems within the band. Obviously, they demanded that Cy Keeler was fired and Steve Grimmett brought in for that record. All sorts. They were trying to change the band's image, and we weren't allowed to do anything basically what we want. We kind of lost all kind of artistic license, and that was no good, and it disrupted relationships in the band, and it was just a disaster. So it just led to the band folding really, and that was it really. It should have been the best time of our career, but it was sadly the worst.
But you know what? Now you can make it even better than it was before with your knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've just renewed our contract with AFM. As I said, I was never going to make the same mistake again. And we obviously get offers from other labels and stuff. And this is our 3rd album with AFM now, and we've extended for another 2 after this one. Purely because we're at home there.
Yep.
Everybody knows us. We know everybody there. It's like a family. The same kind of thing as we had with Music for Nations on the Force album, you know.
Right.
And we screwed that up ourselves. So I wasn't willing to make that same mistake. So we've signed long term again, and just keep stability. I think is the best way forward, and to be a bigger fish, you know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and come up with some great music for everybody.
Yep, exactly.
Now, being that you guys aren't playing out live and everything now, are you guys working on any different projects or anything going on?
No, well, I've been locked down since March 15th, which the album wasn't quite finished then. So we were kind of a little naughty and bent a few rules. We recorded the vocals when we were in lockdown. We were kind of forced to because still wanting to meet the release date. So 4 of us went into a studio. We're all very honest with each other. Like we're all safe. We're all good. We haven't had any contact. So we can do this safely. So which we did, and everything was fine. But then it came to mixing, and that was a different thing altogether because Daniel Bergstein's in Sweden, and I was in England, obviously. So usually I'd go into the studio for 3 or 4 days with the producer, just to get things set up for the mix and get all the sounds kind of right. But obviously I was unable to do that this time, so we had to do everything via email and text message, which was absolute nightmare, as you can imagine. I mean, if I sort of said to Daniel, I need just a little more high end on the guitar, please. It would take 2 hours instead of like 30 seconds because he'd have to email me over sound files, like really big files, and then I have to download them, listen to them, and get back to him with. And then even if it was slightly out again, he'd have to do it all over again. It was like a nightmare.
Yeah, but I've heard a lot of bands are doing that now lately. It's just amazing, and it's got to be such a pain.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to Daniel, the patience he must have had to do that, because obviously it took so much longer than originally intended. But we got there in the end, and it sounds amazing. So.
That's cool. All right, we're going to check out your last track here. Here's Chaos is King. Crank it up.
Cool.
DJ Thunderhead's other favorite song. He loves that track as well. We figured we'd take it off of 6. 6 is our album.
Awesome.
Now, what's the best show you've ever experienced since you guys have been back, and who did you play with, and where was it?
I don't know if I could specify one particular show, because there's been so many amazing ones, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I could highlight one tour in particular, which kind of would never be forgotten, and it kind of made the band what it is today, you know. After the release of the Force album, we went on tour with Motorhead for a month in Europe on their Orgasmatron tour, and that was undoubtedly the best thing we ever did. It was incredible for 5 young kids like to go out and do that, and
right.
And from the moment we arrived at the first venue, they just took us under their wing, you know. Mm-hmm. It was amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah, Filthy Phil come up first time. He said, "Guys, I'm going to introduce you on stage every single night of the tour," which was like, wow. And we had full use of PA, full use of lights. Anything we ever wanted, we got, and it was just incredible. We just hung out with them like we were friends, you know. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah, that would never ever be forgotten, and it actually broke us as a band. Really, I think the amount of new fans we gained from that one tour alone was amazing.
It is cool. Now, I do have a question from one of our listeners, Vicky Grandy. She's actually going to become a DJ soon. She wants to know if you take bubble baths or showers.
All right. Well, I tend to do both. I like both, actually. But I think it's going to be more showers now, because I'm actually in the next few weeks going to actually rip the bath out of our house and just put in a walk-in shower. So it's going to be showers very soon.
That's cool. And I have another question, too, from Patty, DJ Living Dead Girl. She would like to know if you wear boxers or briefs.
Boxers all day long.
Boxers all day long. That's cool. So, do you have any endorsements you'd like to tell us about? You know, anybody, you know?
Yeah, I've been really lucky with endorsements, you know. I had my first guitar endorsement back in, I think, 1986 with Charvel Jackson. Obviously, that endorsement is still no longer active, as the company is not Charvel Jackson anymore. Mm-hmm. But as I mentioned earlier, my little baby is still sat next to me. My main Charvel, what I had from them back then. So I don't take any guitar endorsements as such, because I just love the old Charvel so much. I got 4 of them now. I managed to pick up another couple off of eBay. 1986, 87 ones, so they were kind of exactly the same as the ones that I had previously. I had all the bodywork done on them, and they were set up to how I like. So I haven't actually gotten a guitar endorsement, which is strange, but there you go. Engel amplifiers in Germany, absolutely amazing amps. They're very good to us. They supply all our touring gear and wherever we are in the world. Absolutely incredible to us. Seymour Duncan pickups. Been with them for 5 years now, I think.
They're good.
Another absolutely amazing company. I just took some stock of some new Blackout active pickups before we recorded the album. Had them fitted, and man, it made such a difference to the guitar tones on the record. So over the moon with what those guys have done for us as well. They're so helpful.
Yeah.
And yeah, what else have we got? Ernie Ball guitar strings.
Yep, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, and Klotz guitar cables. So we're very well looked after. We've got some great deals, and these people have been so kind to us, you know.
Awesome.
So yeah, obviously it's great to be able to actually get their names out there for them. It's brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome. And also, when the new album is released in August, are you taking pre-orders now for that, or where can everyone find the album?
Yeah, I think that the pre-orders are up on the AFM site in Germany. I'm still waiting for the links for the USA pre-orders and everywhere else. I think we've got UK Europe pre-orders up at the moment, but I think there's kind of license releases going on in Mexico, obviously the US, Russia, Japan, Colombia, and Argentina. So we're going to be putting up all the independent links to buy the album for those countries as well, those territories, which shouldn't be too long now. So I think all the deals are almost done on them licenses. So we're going to be putting those up on our website and the Facebook site as well. So yeah, they should be very easy to get hold of.
Yes, and you're very easy to get a hold of too, as you have 4 profiles.
It's just trying to find them and keep up with it. That's the trouble.
Know. But you're always very responsive, and that's cool. You know, we've talked for quite a while now, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, it's great to speak to fans and that, you know, it's it helps a lot. You know, sometimes it doesn't always have to be positive. Even people got negatives to say. It can be very helpful. You know. It's not got to be all glory and that. So yeah, I mean, I get some great information off people as well. So it's I try to do it all the time. Anywhere, blabbermouth, and I just go on there and speak to people. And on all our sites, and fans seem to love it.
And there's also that beautiful delete button if you need to.
That's one thing I never do. I never do that, whatever happens.
Well,
not yet, anyway.
All right, could you do a shout out for the radio station, please?
Yep, I shall try.
Okay.
Let me get my lips around this a minute.
Okay, be careful.
I will. Hey metalheads, this is Nige Rockett from Onslaught, and you're tuned in to the Thunderhead Show on MetalDevastationRadio.com, where metal reigns supreme.
Hell yeah, thank you very much. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to out there or anything before we go?
Nah, just you guys and obviously all the fans who supported us all over the years or are going to continue supporting us over the years to come, you know. Without you, we're nothing. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
And we can't wait to see you all when this bullshit is over, you know.
Exactly. 6 fucking 6.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thank you very much, Nige.
Thank you. It's been great to talk to you.